James and I are at the bar. It's Wednesday night, so that means we get Long Island iced teas for $2 at this local place that we like to go. Now, James and I couldn't be further apart from our approaches to meeting women. James has no sense of shame. He's got no sense of embarrassment. He will just walk up to tables full of women. He'll talk to women that are walking past him. He'll strike up a conversation with anybody. And that works for him. And for me, though, I never put myself out there. Too afraid of saying the wrong thing, too embarrassed, too worried about embarrassing myself. So I never put myself out there. On the rare occasion that one of James's slick, sleazy lines works, and we find some women at our table, I don't really even contribute much to the conversation. I think I have some interesting things to say, but I don't speak up because I'm too embarrassed. Now, it should go without saying that James got a lot more dates than I got because he's willing to put himself out there. He had a higher tolerance for embarrassment. Now, this isn't just the world of dating that it applies to. This is the world of every area of his life, right? So every time he used a line and got shot down, he learned something from that. He learned how to deal with criticism. He learned how to deal with rejection. He learned how to be confident. Right? And those are skills that follow through to every area of his life. So find out more about embarrassment right after this. Hey, it's Derek Hagan, financial therapist, here to talk to you about embarrassment in another Money Health presentation. So, embarrassment and how it's good and why it's good to be embarrassed. And I want to just say up front, I'm not going to edit any of this video other than throwing in some text. Right? I'm not going to cut out any of my mistakes. I'm not going to cut out any of these eye scratches that I like to do, any coughs or sneezes, because I'm going to eat my own cooking today. So I might embarrass myself. So, now, putting yourself out there, if you can do that, if we can train ourselves to do that, that comes with an enormous payoff. Okay, so most of us fear failure, including me back in the story at the bar there. But if I never put myself out there because I'm afraid of embarrassing myself or afraid of being afraid or afraid of being shut down or being embarrassed, there's not going to be much of a payoff there. James, on the other hand, he always put himself out there. And there was a bigger payoff for him. Now, not every time, right? But that's the thing about risk, is the risk sometimes shows up and sometimes it doesn't. But the payoff is there. And he was willing to do that. So, shifting our mindset from winning and losing, right? In my crappy mind, I would say if I go up and talk to somebody, I'm going to lose. What if I don't get a phone number? Or what if she hates me? Or what if I come across as a doofus? Rolls her eyes at me or walks away. There, I lost. And I'm calling that losing. Which is, of course, the opposite of winning. And winning would be whatever my objective was, to get a phone number or to just have a good conversation or whatever the case may be. But what if you can shift that? So that's the game I was playing, winning and losing. James, on the other hand, he was playing the win and learn game. There are no lessons. Either he's going to win and get the objective outcome of good conversation or phone number or date, or he's going to learn something valuable. Winning and learning. And that's when you reframe that, it becomes quite profound. And then over time, you'll find that there's not even, this side of the coin doesn't even exist anymore because it's all just winning, right? This learning becomes part of your winning. So why do we get embarrassed so much? We get embarrassed because we believe we know what people are thinking about us. We believe we're being judged by other people. They're going to think badly of me, and I don't want anybody to think badly of me, right? So I might as well just not put myself out there. But the fact that embarrassment is so scary for us is exactly why we should give ourselves permission to put ourselves out there. Because here's the catch-22. Here's the paradox. I think everybody's judging me. I think you are judging me. And in this case, you probably are because you're watching this on a video. But if this is real life, I would think you are judging me. But the reality is that everybody feels that. So I'm too in the weeds to realize that you're too busy worrying about what I'm thinking about you. Right? You don't remember me. You're not going to remember any embarrassing things that I did. You're too busy worrying about what I'm thinking about you to even notice or care. Okay, so once you put yourself out to potentially embarrassing situations, because, you know, this concept of embarrassment will change as you go, so I'll say potentially embarrassing situations, then you can just learn how to take advantage of every situation, right? Did it go as you wanted? Did you get that job? Did you get the raise you asked for? Yes? Congratulations, it worked. What if you didn't? Did you learn something? Yes, good, congratulations, what did you learn? Now you have a bigger, more robust toolbox that you can apply going forward. Maybe you didn't learn something. Well, no, you did. Just look harder. There's always a lesson in those losses or failures. In fact, there's an old saying that we learn more from our failures than we do from our successes. We just got to look for them and find them. We have to take risks. You know, risk is putting yourself out there. It's a risk to be shot down. It's a risk to go to your boss and ask for a raise and get shot and get told no. It's a risk to go up for a promotion and not get it. It's a risk to take on a new project and find out that you weren't good at it. But you're going to keep learning things. You're going to keep adding to your skill set. Your talent stack is going to grow and grow. And this is the long game. You're playing an infinite game here, to quote Simon Sinek. In a finite game, you're only playing the game once. So you got to win. You got to win right now. But in an infinite game, you're not playing to win a single game. You're playing to play the game as long as possible. And in order to play the game as long as possible, you got to grow. You got to learn. So take those risks. And now, just as a side note here, when we think about embarrassing situations, we think we know what other people are thinking of us. Right? But the reality is they don't care. They don't know. They don't remember. We're not even on their radar. But let's assume, just suppose for a second, that they are. You should listen to that criticism. You've got this critic that actually exists, this person that we're so afraid of. Remember, usually this is a boogeyman. We're not even worried if this person doesn't exist. Right? But to the extent this person does exist and you have a critic, listen to the critic. Because what if the critic is right? Then you were pointed out, or something was pointed out to you that you didn't already know. And now you get to use that going forward. They actually helped you out. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. This is incredibly hard to do, but this is worth it in the long run. Now, what if they're wrong? They totally misunderstood you. They've got it all wrong. It's got it all out of proportion, out of context, that kind of stuff. Well, you should still thank them, right? I mean, you don't really care. If they're wrong, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem. If they're wrong, you know, they're entitled to their own opinion, and their opinion is outside of your control, mostly. And, you know, what somebody thinks of you is none of your business, really. But they thought they were trying to help you. Thank you for your insight. Thanks for that perspective. I'll take that into consideration. Incredibly difficult to do, but worth it. So, you don't need to be embarrassed. In fact, it's good to be embarrassed. Seek out embarrassing opportunities. See how it feels. Try to remember a year ago. What were you embarrassed about a year ago? Recognize that you're still alive, and you probably have a good story. Or think about other people you've seen that have had embarrassing things happen to them. Take note of how you feel about their embarrassment. You probably don't care. And that's exactly the same way they think about you. So ask for that raise. Go out for that promotion. Take on that new project. Right? Put yourself out there. That's good money health.